Real Country 1430 AM and 1073 FM WRDN. I'm Brian Winnekins, and joining us this morning is Wisconsin Farmers Union President Darin von Ruden as we get a kind of a recap from the Wisconsin Farmers Union's annual convention. Thank you to our newsmaker sponsors, including Alcivia Co-op, Compeer Financial, Osteoplastics, Anibis Silo, Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley, and Synergy Co-op. And Darin, thanks for joining us this morning. It was a very, very busy weekend, a lot of stuff going on. I know on Sunday, that was when everybody votes on all the resolutions. So tell us about that. What were some of the big highlights from that vote?
Yeah, so we start that resolution process on Saturday afternoon, but normally or over the years, we've always had our special orders of business at the end of the year. But this year we decided to do a little bit different and put special orders up for an electronic vote to see which one of the top six that came to convention would be the top four ultimately. And in that process, we ended up with concentration in the agriculture industry being one, preserving small and mid-sized farms being another one, family farms shaping climate change policy, another one, and then family farmers shaping water quality policy were our top four. So that's what we'll concentrate on this year in Madison and Washington, D.C.
And so those special orders of business, now is that just going to be then for the state farmers union, or is that going to be something that then is passed along to the national convention that's coming up here early next year?
Yeah, so in March, we'll be out in San Francisco to the national convention, and our delegates will be pushing for these to get moved into national policy. There's probably going to be a little bit of overlap, certainly on the concentration in the agriculture industry. That's been a priority of National Farmers Union for the last couple of years now, and we're still working on the Fairness for Farmers campaign, trying to draw attention to the issue of concentration in agriculture.
Talking with Wisconsin Farmers Union President Darin von Ruden this morning, getting a recap from the Wisconsin Farmers Union's annual convention. Darin, along with those special orders of business, all the other resolutions, what were some of the highlights from that happened on Sunday?
So we spent quite a bit of time Sunday morning talking about school taxes and school aid and looking at how rural districts are really at a different level than a lot of the urban districts are, and how can we get more dollars into the school districts to take care of our kids that are special needs kids. It seems like that's a part of most districts that really gets underfunded, and with looking at what's going on in society, we're seeing more and more kids that are having special needs. So we need to make sure those dollars are getting into the school districts to help those kids that need that help.
Did delegates talk about rural health care? That seems to be a pretty big issue especially with rural hospitals. Some are having some pretty serious struggles. Did that come up?
Yeah, it didn't this year. That was one of the sections that we moved through fairly fast and didn't talk too much about that at all. But it certainly is on the back of everybody's mind and looking at health insurance premiums rising and what that's doing to just the average person in society.
Another, I know, at least in the special order business, the dairy policy kind of went through pretty quickly, which was kind of surprising.
Yeah, our chairman, who's from Minnesota, even made the point that the dairy policy went through really fast, and pointing out that he's never been there and he's been coming for 25 years or so already. In all those years, there's always been questions or something has come up during dairy policy, and maybe that's a sign that we're getting it so refined now that we don't need to add anything, and our members are actually seeing some of the benefits. Certainly, as we look at the Dairy Together movement and what that's doing with the dairy revitalization plan, nationally. So, our members are aware of that. So it's good to see that there wasn't a huge discussion on that.
Do you think, Darin, that the Dairy Together program is one of the reasons why? I mean, because people kind of now they're seeing at least something and some type of plan, and so okay, we don't have to keep hashing this over and over again. There's something out there now. We can kind of all just, okay, this is what we're going for.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the main issue is over the years, we've always had, 5, 6, 7, 8 different ideas that come to the policy committee, and then county presidents might narrow down a couple more. And, but that's with the Dairy Together program. We've been pretty solid on that the last couple of years, and getting close to the discussion of the 2023 Farm Bill here now. I think our members decided let's stick with the plan that's there moving forward, and let's try to get this over the hump.
There was a presentation on Saturday about the upcoming Farm Bill as well. Were you concerned about some of the things in that presentation from the folks from National Farmers Union? Mike was in and saying, this is what could happen and that was what could happen.
Well, certainly the election had a big impact on what's going on in DC right now, and looking at the future of the Farm Bill process. With having a split Senate being Democrats and the House being Republicans, I hope they realize that they need to work together to get an important piece of legislation like this done together. But there's also a big contingent within the House that doesn't want to see the nutrition title be a part of the Farm Bill. So trying to separate those is going to be an issue that we're going to address and make sure that we can continue to keep both the nutrition title and the rest of the Farm Bill issues as one solid bill.
Talking with Darin von Ruden this morning, a president of the Wisconsin Farmers Union, their annual convention this past on December 9th through the 11th in Wisconsin Dells, getting a recap on that. Darin, for another big thing is we have the board elections, and when we had those two, do we know who the new board people are?
Yes, we do. On Sunday afternoon after convention, we had a meeting of the board to elect the officers, and I was reelected as the president of the board, and our vice president, Tina Hinchley, retained that position. Our secretary, Linda Sealer, is still secretary, and our treasurer, Ed Gorell, is still the board treasurer.
All right.
And then we did have one district, District 4, that had competition, and the current director there, Jen Smits, won that election again.
All right. Well, again, I know a lot of folks were there. The other big thing, it was really nice to see everybody in person, and kind of and the time change as well, having it here late in the year, even though we had two conventions kind of this year, one in January and then now this one. But it is kind of nice to have it done, and now we can get ready. You guys can get ready for national convention.
Yeah, and certainly for the organization, as leaders, most of the time we have been spending the holidays planning for the convention, and so having the convention done before the holidays, we're hoping that our board leaders and our staff can actually enjoy a Christmas for a change.
That is Darin von Ruden. He is president of the Wisconsin Farmers Union. You're listening to the WRDN Morning Farm Report.